Namaste everyone. This is Warren from Coach Me Nepal. I'm here again with another simply awesome learn and grow session. We share our knowledge with people just like you who wants to learn and grow. We share NLP tools and techniques with you, or other self-improvement tools, or management and productivity tools with you to help you effectively master and design your life. Design your life in a way that empowers your future. If these sound awesome to you, simply hit that subscribe button. Just click that button down there right now. We'll then be able to regularly share amazing videos with you. Videos that actually teach you something. Today we're going to talk about some NLP concepts. A lot of people ask me why NLP? Why do we need to learn NLP? So today I will gladly discuss some NLP concepts I learned as a NLP master practitioner and why NLP matters to me. And some of these concepts I've also learned from Damon Cart. Damon Cart has an amazing YouTube channel called Life Masterism, and that teaches you a lot of NLP tools and techniques that comes in really handy. So this session is also partly inspired by him. So let's get started. NLP has practically been a part of my life for a while now. And also as Coach Me, we as Coach Me also teach NLP to those who are willingly seeking to learn these tools. I also effectively use these NLP tools during my one-on-one coaching sessions. My NLP journey has certainly been magically insightful. As a matter of fact, it has been so awesome that I want to share my NLP experience with as many people around me as possible. And if you simply ask me why, I would say because NLP has completely changed my life. With NLP, I've been able to transform my life in many ways, from being full of doubt and being frozen by it to bravely taking control of my emotions and understanding my limitations that literally drives me towards actions. With NLP, I've simply learned how to make my life more resourceful and purposeful. And I hope with this video, we certainly expect you to understand how to effectively use NLP to achieve the same for you. And also we hope this video will provide you some insight on how to use NLP to master your life. In this video, I'll generally speak in very broad terms. I'm only using these terms to simply familiarize you with these concepts. I'm touching these topics very superficially here. And if you so decide, you can suddenly go deeper and learn much more than this video is going to allow. However, simply keep in mind that if you want to go deeper into those concepts and you have questions that can help you better understand these concepts, please feel free to send those questions to us. I'll just mention those questions in the comment section. You can mention your questions or your desires to go deeper into any of these concepts, and we will answer your questions as quickly as we possibly can. And also we can maybe do another video on a specific concept to quickly give you a even deeper understanding of that particular concept. Or even if there's something you don't understand, just let us know. Let us know in the comment section and we'll see what we can do. The first NLP concept I want to discuss today is the map is not the territory. There are many NLP presuppositions that simply empower us as practitioners. The map is not the territory is also one of these or one of those presuppositions. This proposition is very close to the neuro of neuro-linguistic programming, or N of NLP. The perception you form because of the information you get through your five senses, and the way you represent this information internally is very different from what is objectively real. Your internal representation is different from the objective reality. So, in this presupposition, the map is not the territory. It implies that you actually never know the territory. And yes, you may ask, never? Well, yes, never. All the information are gathered through your five senses. They automatically go through those senses, and while they're being filtered through these senses, these information will get distorted, deleted, and generalized. And if you want us to do a video on deletion, distortions, and generalizations, do let us know, and maybe we can do one for you in the future. Now, keeping the fact in mind that all the information we get through these senses are deleted, distorted, or generalized, how do we see reality, or how do we become aware of it? We experience reality through our senses, our five senses. Apart from these five senses, we also have the internal representation of the information received through these five senses. These information that has been distorted, deleted, and generalized is then internally represented. That means then it's also projected as reality. This internal representation is the map. The map is not the territory presupposition. This reference to map is also very relevant. Humans have been using maps. They've used maps very effectively throughout history. Maps are awesome, right? You can have it in your hands and it gives you exactly the info you need to get to where you want to go. However, if you foolishly try to redesign your map with the data exactly like the real territory, or if you try to include all the details of the territory exactly as it is in the map, it would not be a map anymore. You will not be able to use that map effectively anymore. You'll have information or details in the map that you don't need, and those information will make it impossible for you to use it effectively. Your mobile phone has GPS on them, and that easily helps you realize where you are and where you want to go or where you need to go. You simply hold it on your palm and it helps you see the map you need. Your internal map is also very similar. Your map here means your internal representation. Like your phone with GPS, your internal representation also requires a lot of resources. Without the necessary resources, it simply cannot offer you the desired choices and options. It needs to be able to tell you where you need to go. Not all of us have effective internal representation, or not all of us have effective maps. Some of us have very poor map or reality. They are poor because they're not able to access their resources. Their maps of reality are limiting because their maps do not offer them the options and choices they actually have. These maps limit them instead of empower them. We can do something about it. We can change our map so that it becomes more resourceful. Using NLP, we can change our internal representation to empower us and to offer us better choices and amazing possibilities. NLP helps you give your internal representation more resources, the choices and options that are already there in the territory. In fact, there are no limits to possibilities. Territory is different from the map. There are possibly limitless possibilities and choices and options in the real territory. There are limitless resources in the actual territory. We need to find ways to ensure that our maps are massively effective and accurate. Ensure that our maps are enriched with choices and resources. They're all out there in the territory, but most of us do not have access to them, or we falsely believe that we cannot access them. So essentially, the map is not the territory. Your perception of reality, whether your reality is unresourceful or limited or even unfriendly, they're only your internal representation. You should remember that your reality does not have to be that way. You have seen many people who seem to live very happy lives, who seem fulfilled with their lives and the world around them. And when you ask them what's up, they simply say, everything's great, it's perfect. Of course, not everything can be good or perfect. There are always something that are not good or not good enough. But to them, everything is good in general. Their map of the world says generally everything is awesome. Their map has some choices, or their map has more choices, more possibilities, and also more resources. So it's Quite simple. Basically, you need to look to effectively supply more choices and more options to your map, or more resources to your map. You need to add better information and resources to your maps. Then this resourceful map of yours can take you to where you actually want to go, where you truly want to go. Another NLP concept I would want to discuss today is language, or L in NLP, or linguistic in neuro-linguistic programming. Language is a tool that helps you express your map of reality. If you listen to how someone speaks or their language, it can help you understand their map of reality, or how they perceive their map of reality. NLP has a few language patterns or models. One such model is Metamodel. This, in fact, was simply the first model in NLP. This model basically helps you empower your map, or enrich your map, by recognizing limitations in language, in your language or in their language. It adds more resources, choices, and possibilities back into your language, yours or someone else's language. You could say that language is also a map, or map of a map. It plays a role in creating map of reality. When someone says the word cupboard, an actual cupboard doesn't really come out of their mouth. The language or word creates an internal representation in you that helps you see what that person means by cupboard. So this clearly shows how language is a map of reality as well. Language is created by internal map, or your internal representation of reality. After you truly realize this, you'll understand how powerful your words can be. You'll understand the power of words. You'll start to choose your words carefully, differently, and maybe more effectively. At times, you may say something and immediately realize that it's creating limitations, and when you see it, you can change it. A lot of us do not see or are not conscious of our limitations, and we do not realize how to resolve them. Now, using Metamodel to examine and recognize our language patterns can be one way of discovering these limitations. They can put spotlight on these limitations or problems. Then you can start thinking of making changes, or you can start making actual changes. Language can also help you reflect on your internal map. How you say things or speak your language can tell a lot about yourself. When you use language to express yourself, the way you speak, when you speak, the words you use, they all affect our experience. Let's say you simply think of something mentally and you speak your thoughts out. You realize that your perspective of that thought was different to when you actually spoke it out. You're thinking of an idea, and it sounds amazing. It feels amazing when you're thinking it, but when you speak it out to someone else, you kind of realize maybe it's not as great as when you were thinking of it. So it's the same with teaching. I learned NLP to help my team building programs, not to be an NLP trainer or coach. So this was not something that I planned or was thinking of when I learned NLP. However, the more I learned, the more I loved it. But to learn better, I realized that I had to teach others instead of only learning what others were teaching me. So when I used my language to teach others, the learning became deeper. My perspective became clearer, better, and different every time I was using my language to teach others. It had an impact on my perspective. Every time I summarized my learnings in my head to teach others, my perspective was impacted. It changed and became deeper. Instead of just reading from a book, using language, my understanding became better and deeper of NLP. So use language to change your experience. You have to be very careful with it, though. You have to be extremely careful with your language and the experience it creates for you. It can create an awesome experience for you, but it can also go the other way, right? Using language, you can transform an okay moment into a very negative or limiting or unresourceful experience. This is why understanding Metamodel is important, as it affects your internal map and your experience. And you got to be aware and use your language effectively to create uplifting and resourceful experiences. Now, let's discuss the final concept. Let's discuss the P of NLP, or the programming of neuro-linguistic programming. For a lot of us, this word programming can make us feel a little defensive. Some people have even asked me, they ask me, are you talking about programming our minds? Well, we're programming our habits. We're programming our strategies and creating automations that kind of empower us. We all know automation, right? Our modern world is about automating everything around us. Well, not everything, but as much as possible. Your mind is also like an automation machine. Our mind is constantly trying to automate our behaviors, or automate everything, including our decisions, so that we do not have to put in any more energy into any task than we actually have to. This automation is also evolutionary. Right? Even in ancient times, saving energy was a big deal, as we were literally out looking for food, expending our energy all day. So it's natural for our mind to look for ways to automate anything and everything, simply to conserve as much energy as possible, or not to burn as much energy. Of course, this automation mechanism was important then, but has it been updated to meet the needs of our present world, to meet the needs of what we are today, what our world is today? These automations or programs need to be checked and see if they are actually in alignment with our present world. Similarly, we're running a lot of programs we created as kids or created as children. However, as adults, these programs, or a lot of these programs, simply are not effective because our environment have changed, our responsibilities have changed, our desires have changed, we have changed, our lives have changed. It's like now we have an iPhone, running on iOS 14 to run our iPhones, right? And some of us are still running on iOS 5. If you do not upgrade, you're not going to use your phone effectively, or at least not as effectively. And this will make you less resourceful. So what will happen? There will simply be a lot of resistance. Your phone will restart a lot, crash often, or freeze frequently. And something similar is happening to us if we're not upgrading our programs. Our programs are not fit for today. And we see this in a lot of people. A lot of us think of doing something, but we never actually get up and start doing it. What automation or mental program is creating this resistance? Inaction may not be caused by lack of ideas. We have ideas and we say we want to do so many things, but we don't actually do them. Here we're basically running on an outdated program that is simply not resourceful enough for what is actually happening now, or not enough for your world today. So this is just something that happens to a lot of people, but these are not as severe. But a lot of people go through severe cases like depressions or anxiety or extreme stress, right? So as an adult, you should recognize these as symptoms of outdated programming. This is where NLP comes in. With the help of NLP, you can actually model our programming. Metamodel can help us recognize what our programming is. But there are other ways too. Submodalities also help us understand our programming. Maybe you have a situation caused by something that you're unconscious about, and as an NLP coach, I'll ask you good, powerful questions. These questions will help you bring that thing that was in your unconscious to your conscious mind. This will help us find that programming or automation that is affecting your behavior, to create the undesired results, or to create that limitation or resistance. And these programs have been that way because Not because we were lazy or not effective, but because we were not aware of them, because we did not know any better. We could not do anything about them because they were unconscious. These limiting programs are also source to a lot of our limiting beliefs. These programs were created for a good cause at a certain point. When they were created, they had a purpose to it and they were helpful, but they're not helpful anymore. So we access the unconscious, bring it out into our consciousness and look at them and see choices, options and possibilities, and do something about them. Right. So when you're not conscious about your programs, you do not have a lot of options. How can you choose to change anything about something you're not conscious about? Your unconscious means your program is running you. So NLP helps you consciously recognize your program so that you can run your programs instead of your program running you. You choose what programs right for you. Of course, it's not that simple. Your life might change, your responsibilities may change, or your friends or people you hang out with may change. And this is not a one-time process. It's ongoing. If you learn NLP, when something is not working, you can go into your program and change it. And that just means that you have choices to do things. That is what makes NLP so important. That is what makes NLP necessary. NLP is also not a one-time study. It's something we do and learn constantly. We practice our adaptability and flexibility to changes. It's not easy for everyone. Once we are aware that these are programs and these programs can be changed, changes are not so painful anymore. When you see it's a program that needs updating, you can relax because it can be done. So go learn Metamodel. So go learn NLP, and it can change your life. Even a lot of us NLP practitioners do not realize how powerful Metamodel is. We do not see how amazing it can be. It is something that I'm in love with, and I keep going back to it over and over again. And this makes me love NLP even more, and this takes me deeper and deeper into NLP. Metamodel. We may do a session on Metamodel soon, but if you're interested, comment and let us know, and we can then maybe prioritize it and do it even sooner. And again, this is it. This is why NLP is so important. And if you want to learn more and use these NLP tools and integrate them into your lives and profession, we have plenty of programs that we offer regularly. Write to us at info@coachmenepal.com or coachmenepal@gmail.com to inquire about dates and programs. So this is it, friends. We're at the end of the session, and if you have suggestions and feedbacks, drop us a line at coachmenepal@gmail.com or info@coachmenepal.com. If you have feedback, do not hesitate to send them to us or share them with us in comments or DM us. We'll be coming with more free sessions and some sessions that are not that free, because these sessions, they're awesome and they also require a lot of work from us. So please like and subscribe and share our videos because we love you. We really do. And as you know, our goal is to reach and take these learnings to children and teachers in remote areas of Nepal who have no access to these kind of learnings, of course at no cost. So we're targeting to reach 2 million children, and at least in a couple of years. So your support and help in any way will go a long way. So we also have a lot of awesome programs coming in the next few months. And if you want to know the details of these programs, do DM us, email us, or keep following us on Facebook and YouTube. We'll announce them on all of these platforms. Until then, stay safe, love yourself, love the people around you, be kind to them because kindness is the answer to everything. And stay positive, not that way.